All right, I know this is like 50 years late, but here we are with The Boys season 5 episode 3. I've been balls deep in homework for like I don't know god knows how long now, and so I just haven't had any time to watch or review anything since the last Daredevil episode. But nonetheless, we're back with another episode of The Boys, and it was pretty good, it was good. I kind of feel the same about it as I did the last two episodes. They introduced some things that I like. There are still some things that I don't like, and overall, it's just like pretty good. Like I'm not going crazy over it or anything, but it's not like there's not any like huge glaring issues. It's all pretty solid, and I don't know. It's pretty good. All of the Homelander stuff, as always, is great. Anthony Starr is a fucking insane actor. Like, there's no way he's actually human. There's no way he's human, dude. Like, and I don't even mean that in a bad way. I just mean like the way he's able to be like get into character as Homelander is fucking insane. Like, it's weird the shit that he is capable of. Um, but yeah, everything with him was pretty good. And the fact that he and Soldier Boy are at odds, I think, is a good thing. I wasn't really looking forward to them like being like a duo. That just at one, that's too OP, and two, I just wasn't like they are very different characters, and there's no universe in which Soldier Boy would just like be buddies with Homelander. Like, you know? And there's no universe in which Homelander would be buddies with Soldier Boy. They're two very, very different people, and they would hate each other, and they kind of do now, which I'm glad. Um, and so yeah, that was all pretty great, and yeah, it was good to see Ryan back. That was cool. He gets like 10 years older every season. Same thing as those Stranger Things kids. Same thing as like any child actor in a TV show. Like you click to the next season and they're instantly like 10 grades since like ahead since you saw them the last season. Like it's insane. Like he went from like 8 to like 10 to like fucking 13 to like 17 now, and it's like Jesus Christ, you know? Like 2 seconds ago, he was like he was an elementary schooler, and now he's like supposed to be maybe 14, 13, even though he looks like my age now. Um, and so yeah, that was pretty cool to see Ryan back, and him and Butcher's whole dynamic and storyline this episode was fairly interesting. It was it was interesting to see how Ryan felt about you know Butcher's like condition or whatever, and how he would even like put up with him really, and the whole fallout from Ryan killing Grace or whatever at the end of last season. Like we never got to see that, and now we finally get to kind of deal with all that, and it was pretty good. I liked the conversations between him and Butcher, and of course, that final scene where Homelander beats the shit out of Ryan, Invincible style, was really very fucking disturbing. Not just because of the fact that he beat the shit out of his son, but the way in which it was presented. If you've seen the scene, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's very fucking disturbing. But but yeah, everything with Ryan this episode was pretty great. I find it interesting that he was friends with Newman's daughter. That didn't last very long. They just had like one scene together, but it's nice to it was nice to see him take some agency. And not that he hasn't done that in the past, but he's always just been like kind of Butcher's pet or Homelander's pet, Like he's always been like a sort of side piece to them. And it was nice to see him take some more agency in this episode, kind of go rogue and do his own thing. Um and it was nice to see a scene that he didn't share with Homelander or Butcher, Like, I'm talking about that opening scene with Zoe, I think her name is. Like, say what you will about, their acting, but, like, I don't know. I thought it was fine, and I thought that it was nice to finally have Ryan independent of these two, like, you know, big figures in his life. And even though he kind of, gets back with them later in the episode, it was nice to see him kind of on his own a little bit. That was cool, and I enjoy that. It's very interesting to see what kind of role he's going to play in the rest of the season. Obviously, him getting his shit rocked by his own father is going to serve as a great motivator and a great, maybe a fear of his. Like, he's not going to want to face Homelander anymore because he knows he's going to die probably. And the whole thing, the cures, like, got destroyed or something. Like, I I don't know what the hell that was about, and like fucking I don't know, dude. Like it felt like so much happened this episode, but also nothing at all. Like things happen. I was just kind of like, oh wow. Like I'm not that emotionally invested to where like, when Samir and Zoe came in and they started destroying all the cures, I'd be like, whoa, oh my god, what the fuck did they just do? Like what? No, I don't really give that much of a shit. I mean it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I don't really have that much of a visceral reaction to anything in the show besides the Homelander stuff, because that's the only stuff that like I genuinely like gets to me, and I'm like, jeez, like like the crazy shit. Um, but yeah. Um, there was actually one scene in this episode, or like one little like detail that did make me laugh. And I mean, it was supposed to make people laugh, but I think I got more out of it than was intended. And I mean, maybe not, but like it was when like Kimiko was like saying her like porn language or whatever, and then it cuts to Giancarlo Esposito genuinely looking like so confused, and that shit just like was so funny. I mean, it cuts back to him saying like, "I don't understand," and that's the part where we're supposed to laugh, but like just his initial reaction, like that's all in the performance. By the way, I'm not dogging the writing, but I'm not saying that the writing is what made me laugh. It's Giancarlo Esposito's performance in that moment, like got a genuine laugh out of me. I like that. Um, but yeah, what else? What else? What else? That whole thing with Homelander and Madeline Stillwell as like an angel, that was so fucking weird. Also, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I did get a lot of this episode spoiled for me because I didn't watch it when it came out. Like, because I be on social media sometimes, and that's just the nature of the beast, dude. You're going to get shit spoiled for you. I knew that Homelander was going to beat the shit out of Ryan at the end. I knew that Soldier Boy and Firecracker were going to crack. I knew that, I saw that clip of Homelander taking a bath in the milk. I saw the clip of him talking to the Madeline Stillwell angel. And I knew about Translucent Sun. I knew he was going to be in the episode. I didn't know to what capacity or anything, but I think that's pretty much all I knew about the episode going in. But yeah, I don't really care enough about the spoilers to stay off social media. I really don't give that much of a fuck. I would stay off of social media for something like Daredevil, but not for this show. I don't really care if I get something spoiled for me. I don't care. I'd rather not, but like if I do, it's not the end of the world. And I'm probably going to, because I don't see myself this Wednesday and probably the next Wednesday and the next Wednesday. I don't see myself watching the episode immediately because I have to work now on Wednesday mornings, and I'm not fucking staying up or waking up early to watch them. I'm just not doing that. So yeah, I'll probably get more shit spoiled for me as the season goes on, but hopefully not. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that because, it didn't, like, maybe Homelander beating the shit out of Ryan would have got a more crazy of a reaction out of me, like, if I didn't know about it, but I did. What else? Yeah, the whole thing with Translucent Sun and Huey trying to, like, rid himself of the guilt and, like, trying to talk to the kid and make him... It was a cute little storyline. Sorry if you can hear me tapping. I'm just like fidgeting with my hands and tapping on my desk. I'm gonna try to stop. But I guess it was a cute little storyline until, Translucent turns on Huey and then they fight. And a moment that I did not get spoiled for me that actually like genuinely shocked me was when that girl Cindy, I think her name is, like the 11 ripoff. I said that because she's bald. She like she makes she makes Translucent Sun explode, and then Starlight snaps her neck. Like, that was wild. Like, I mean, it's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, I've never not seen somebody it's not like I've never seen someone get their neck snapped before, but like I guess just like the implication of that, like I've never seen Annie just be that like raw, like there's only a couple times throughout the show where she's genuinely been that like unhinged, and it was crazy to see, especially because that Cindy has been kind of not a prominent figure throughout the show, but she's been a recurring like threat, and she was kind of painted out, especially in season 2 when they broke into that like soup prison or whatever. Um, she was definitely made out to be like a big fucking deal, and then just to see her get her neck snapped by Starlight, I was like, wow. But that was a crazy, and I like the whole implication for Annie's character, like her being disturbed that she did that, and then eventually at the end of the episode, she just fucks off on her own. Everything kind of goes to shit, and she's like, yeah, I was better at this when I was not, doing it with a team, when I was doing it alone. So we'll see what happens with that. But I generally liked where they're going with her character. Or I guess I should say I generally like where they're going with her character and what they've been doing with her character. I think it's decent. And Huey too. Huey receives some good characterization in the fact that he can see the good in so much suffering and misery and shit like that. This world is so doom and gloom. He can still be the kind of light that says like, hey, maybe we can make a better future for these people and stop this cycle of violence and blah blah blah. He's not just like, fucking kill all the soups. He's not just like that. He actually wants things to get better. Like Starlight said, he is one of the only people that want things to get better rather than just stopping them from getting worse. So I enjoy that aspect of his character, and I enjoyed that he's kind of always had that spark, in him, when everyone else kind of at times or all the time can be just so hopeless and miserable and shit, like Butcher, or sometimes even or whatever. Or it seems sometimes even Starlight. Like Huey's kind of the only character that never really falters in that aspect. And I'm not saying that he's not allowed to question things, or to question his Jesus Christ, um, question his beliefs or morals or whatever. It's okay to see him struggle, but like I appreciate that he has kind of kept that persistence going throughout pretty much the entire show. He's always kind of had that fire in him, or whatever corny bullshit. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. What else is going on? Yeah, Firecracker and Soldier Boy crack. And that was a funny scene because Jensen Ackles is not moving a muscle. He's literally sitting there and letting Firecracker ride him. Like, it's insane. Like, he might as well be asleep, dude. No bullshit. Like, it's insane. And then right after, he says, like, oh, I haven't fucked that hard since 1940, whatever. And you're like, no, you didn't do anything. You were just laying there, not moving a muscle. Which, like, if he doesn't want to be all fucking dynamic and pornographic during a sex scene, I don't really give a shit. But like, it's just funny. I thought how like he says that right after a sex scene where he was like stiff as a fucking mannequin. That was kind of funny. I don't know if they meant for it to be like that, or if that's just something that he wanted. Like, that's something that like he like telling the intimacy coordinator, like, hey, I don't really want to, because I think he has a wife or something, maybe he has a family or something like that. He doesn't really want to do all that, which I respect. I just thought that was a funny little detail. It's not like a criticism of the show. It's just a funny detail. I saw people talking about it on Twitter before I even watched the episode. So, yeah, and then like I said, everything with Homelander is fucked up, and it's genuinely entertaining. Like, to see him just like he's at a point now where he's just like not even capable of like speaking to, like he's fully. I mean, he's always been a psychopath, right? But like, there's levels to this shit, and he could be approached in season 1, season 2, season 3. He's always been crazy. Don't get me wrong, but like now he is genuinely convinced that he is Jesus Christ. Like he is literally like. I know he's always like had a very high opinion of himself, and he thinks that he should be loved and all that stuff. Dude, what the hell is going on out there? Sorry, I don't know. My roommates are raging or something. He's always had a high opinion of himself, but to see him like genuinely just like completely gone off the deep end and think that like he is like the Messiah or something is kind of crazy, and it's fun to see him. It's not like it's not. I don't. Fuck it. It's fun to see him go crazy. It's fun to see him like just completely lose his fucking marbles. It is the last season after all, and he's most likely going to die at the end of the season. So why not just fucking go all out with him? Just like have him go crazy. Fuck it, whatever. Do something new, and they're doing something new, and it's nice. It's a natural character progression. They're not just pulling this out of nowhere. I'm not trying to say that, but I like that they're not holding back with his character. Like he's just fully like fucking like mentally insane. Um, like he's not even like reasonable or like I mean he's never been reasonable, but like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like he's just fully completely like insane now, and he like beats his own son and all this stuff. Not that he wouldn't. Whatever. You get my fucking point. I'm not gonna keep running in circles to repeat myself, but yeah, everything with him was pretty good. Everything with Butcher, like I said, was decent, and his scenes with Ryan were nice. Bring some warmth back to the character of Butcher, even though he is just a complete fucking murderous psychopath at this point. He literally tells Ryan in this episode, "Yeah, I just killed my dad the other day," um, but just like the kind of reminder of his past like brings just a little bit out of him, like he is like fully too far gone now, and he probably is going to die and deserves to, but he is he does get like a little bit of like human um sorry um he does get a little bit of humanization, is that a word? I don't know. In this episode, just because of his connection with Ryan and what that meant for his character with Becca and everything, he gets a little bit. And the whole terror thing I thought was nice. I love whenever they bring that dog into the show. I love him. I love that dog. It's very sad that that dog passed away between seasons 4 and 5, I think. So they had to like recast the dog or whatever. But I just love dogs, so it's always nice. Um, yeah, man, I don't really know what else. Oh yeah, there's the whole Frenchie and Kimiko thing. And that's kind of one of the things that I don't like about this show is that I don't like that she talks now. I know that I was kind of giving it a pass in the last review of the last 2 episodes, just saying that like, oh, it's like a funny, quirky thing, but like, I don't like it. I don't like it when she talks, um, and especially because it's kind of inconsistent in that like sometimes they try to play it off like she's bad with words, and then sometimes she's perfectly articulate. Like she's like, "Oh, I want a border collie with 2 girls and 1 boy. A house by the river. It's what I always wanted." And da 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 da. She's like perfectly fine speaking full like sentences, and she knows what a border collie or a whatever breed of dog she says. Like I didn't even know what the fuck it was. Um, Sometimes she's perfectly literate and has no problem with speaking full fluent sentences in English, and then sometimes she like struggles to come up with an insult, like when she was trying to insult Butcher, and she's like, "You're a complete monster, you monster!" Like it's stupid, and they're not really justifying the decision to have her speak now. Like, if they're gonna have a character who's been mute for 4 seasons finally speak now in this season, they gotta make it good. Like, they have to justify it, and they're not justifying it. They're just doing it for shits and giggles. They're doing it so she can say funny porn video titles and say funny TikTok slang and say out-of-pocket things to make Gus Fring look at her weird. Like, it's stupid, and I wish they didn't do that, because at least her like mutism actually kind of brought some kind of interesting element to her character, and she had to be creative, and it brought some kind of charm to her. But now she's just like a fucking a brain rot generator, or like like it's stupid, and her speaking just feels completely fucking pointless and almost like a regression of her character. Like it's not like a regression in the literal sense of her character arc is literally going backwards, but like it feels like a step back in terms of writing and characterization. Um, I understand that. I understand that. Um, I understand that characters are allowed to grow and change, and this is supposed to be her growing and changing, is like her learning to speak and everything. And I understand that, but like it really feels like they're not making the most of it. They're not justifying the decision to have her be a speaking character now with full lines in the series. Um, Whereas at least last, when she didn't talk, even though she didn't talk, she had, like, remember that fucking scene when uh uh needed help and A Train came and she was like holding up books to try and tell him what to do. Like, for like she said, like, she was holding up a book that said hospital and she was pointing to hospital, and then she was holding up a book that said for the sake of his daughter. Completely fucking like goofy, but like, I don't know, it was a cute scene, and like, I can't name any scenes in this season so far that like I like add to her character, or like that I enjoy, or like are endearing. Like, no. Maybe some people do, but like, I don't like it. I don't like it when she talks. Not that the fact that I don't it's not that I don't like the idea of her speaking, because I think they could make that work. Like I said, if it was a natural progression, but it kind of just feels like they're just doing it just to make jokes and be funny, and it's like, all right, dude, what the fuck? It just feels like you're wasting my time now having me listen to her stupid fucking TikTok porn language. It's so stupid. That's one of the big things that I didn't like about this episode, and honestly, the whole season up to this point, is that whole thing with Kimiko. It's kind of fucking weird, and I don't like it. Um, but yeah, that's really it. I can't really think of anything else. There's probably something that I'm forgetting that I'm just not mentioning, but I don't know. There always fucking is. Um, I thought the fact that the Deep drives a Cybertruck is funny. I mean, his characterization is kind of so on the nose at this point that you can't help but laugh at it, you know? I know they're kind of doing that on purpose. Like, he's like a Andrew Tate podcaster, womanizer, like misogynistic, uh, you know, fucking Tesla driving, Cybertruck driving, fucking incel. But who thinks he's like a sigma male or whatever, alpha male, whatever the fuck he says. I understand that they're trying to be on the nose with that, but like, I don't know, it's whatever. I mean, it's there, and it's, maybe some people find it funny. I'm just like, oh, yep, there's the Deep again doing his thing. He actually did something useful this season. Surprisingly, he fucking got Stan Edgar, which is going to be a big time problem for the boys. And I like how this episode kind of ended off. It kind of, everything went in the shitter, right? Like, the Cures got destroyed, Ryan got beat up by Homelander. Butcher's off fucking on his own. Not fucking, I shouldn't have said it like that. He's off on his own, and Ryan is, like I said, like, damn near incapacitated. He gets beat within an inch of his life. Annie fucks off because she thinks she can't do this with the team anymore, and the oh yeah, the whole V1 thing, I haven't even mentioned that, but yeah, that's kind of what this whole episode revolves around. And Homelander is trying to find the V1, and now he has Stan Edgar, and he can do it. Everything is looking in the villain's favor. So I always like that kind of ending when the heroes are like kind of hopeless, which they kind of are at the end of this episode. There's only a little bit of, like, of a plan that they have, but like, it's kind of like an all-time low. Not an all-time low, but like a shit, like, what the fuck do we do now? Like, everything just hit the fan. So yeah, I like those kinds of endings, and this episode has one, and I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it's nothing revolutionary. It didn't wow me. It was no Born Again season 2 episode 5. Let me tell you. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it wasn't, but like, that's besides the point. But yeah, like I said, was nothing like. It wasn't the most incredible thing I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it and I liked it, and that's kind of how it's kind of just my opinion on the show now. Like, nothing's flooring me, nothing's like, wow, man, this is like the best in fiction or whatever. This is the best da 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 da. Like, I don't really see it like that. It's just like an entertaining show that I get entertainment value out of and I enjoy, and I sit down every week to watch it and see what's gonna happen, see what crazy shit Homelander's gonna do, and that's all I really get out of the show at this point. I'm not like super emotionally invested in it, but I don't really care. But yeah, that's really gonna do it for this episode. In terms of a review, I can't really think of anything else that I'm missing, but there's probably something. I don't know. No, Stan Edgar came back. That was cool. Giancarlo Esposito, it was nice to see him again. He gets a little bit of a cheekiness to him in this episode, which was I thought was nice. Like I said, a little bit. Like, it wasn't very prevalent. He's still mostly playing a Gus Fring ripoff like he has for the past 20 years. Um, but yeah, I don't know, any bit of like life that they allow Giancarlo Esposito to show, I appreciate. So yeah, but yeah, that's really gonna do it. I know I've been kind of like monotone throughout this whole review. I've just been so busy, and I just like I watched this and I'm like, cool, cool, dude. Back to the fray. Back to the fucking 38 essays and 28 projects I have to finish before midnight, you know. It's just kind of, I'm so ready for the semester to be over. I'm so fucking ready, dude. I cannot take this anymore. Um but yeah, I'm excited for Daredevil this week. Well, next week, I guess. It's still Saturday. Um I'm excited for Daredevil. That show's on a fucking tear, and I hear it only keeps the momentum going, so I'm very excited for that. Um and yeah, that's really going to do it. I know I've said that about 28 times in the last 10 minutes of this review, but now I really mean it. That's going to do it. Thank you for watching. If you are watching, I know this video is probably going to get like fucking 2.5 views. So, yeah. Peace out to all 2.5 of you. All right. See ya.